Steve Holzer with BIM Object and AEC Hackathon. We're in kind of two hats today. We're sitting here in Dallas at Project Atlas headquarters, world headquarters for Project Atlas, with my good friend Joe. And I'm going to let him introduce himself in just a second, but we've had actually a lot of fun over the few years, I guess, working together in these AEC Hackathons when we were both in different lives almost. And came together here today, so we're trying to capture some of what we've been doing. I want to share our appreciation as the AEC Hackathon for incredible space and the people that you brought in. I mean, it's really a great event we got going on today and yesterday and tomorrow. So a good weekend, good facility. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Joe. Tell us a little bit.
Absolutely. We're happy to host, and we love having tons of people in the office. The buzz, the collaboration, innovation, all that good stuff going on. It's events like these, I think, where these new ideas, come, right? Yeah. So anyway, so I'm Joe Williams, one of the co-founders of Project Atlas, and now newly vice president of product for Atlas at Bluebeam. Just this week, we were acquired by Bluebeam Inc., and so we will be the new Dallas office for Bluebeam, and so. This space that we are lucky enough to have and host the event will eventually become Bluebeam for the Texas area. So
that's fantastic. Well, I mean that shows you how small this industry really is in some ways. Because Sasha at Bluebeam, who's kind of the same what I do with BIM Object, is we've been friends for years, and a lot of us students AEC Hackathon. So that's great news, and that's pretty exciting to see that evolution occur.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an idea that started at an event like the hackathon. We were really just looking for a way to solve an old problem with Project Atlas. And it was just finding a way to get more information into the hands of field people, and the mapping concept is just something that kind of hit us as a possible solution. And, developed from there out of a construction company, then onto its own, and now part of the Bluebeam product family. So.
Well, tell us a little bit about where Project Atlas came from, though. I mean, when I first knew you, you were with Rogers O'Brien. You guys, a good group of you, I believe it was the Innovation Lab, or at least that's what you called yourselves. You showed up on a bus. There were all these guys that had all these cool gadgets and equipment and stuff at our hackathons. But you're doing this stuff to make a difference in the industry, to really push not just the envelope, but change it. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, really, we were lucky that Rogers O'Brien has always really embraced innovation and technology in the industry, and so we had the opportunity to have staff and resources and devices kind of dedicated to that research, to finding a better way for the guys in the field, and in addition to implementing the typical BIM digital documents, the kind of technology that every construction company needs. We also got to do plenty of research with the HoloLens to robots, to really drones, anything you can think of, and in doing all of that, we had the opportunity to kind of think outside the box, and that's really where Atlas came from. One day we were just sitting around kind of talking about really a presentation that was coming up, and what cool new thing could we show in that presentation, and this concept of Google Maps for construction kind of hit us at lunch, and really just started with that simple thought about what if we treated drawings more like maps? How would that change the paradigm about the way we think?
So how do you see us? That is one of the things. Though we have all this tech, we have all this digitalization, we're still many times shuffling those paper-based systems. So how do you see us most able to make that leap? Because it really is going to take that to happen.
Yeah, I think for many years, we have in the construction industry really thought of the source of information, the source of data for our projects as being documents for the longest time, right? Since the Egyptians, it was paper or papyrus. That was where the data went.
We're still close to that.
That was the thumb drive. I think we're starting to kind of come around to a new way of thinking about information and data. Really, that projects are built with data, not just with paper or drawings. those are artifacts, of the data. And I think,
well put.
yeah, a good friend of mine, Marcelo, said at the, Future Tech last week that instead of taking a model-centric approach on a project, take a data-centric approach. And the model and the drawings and
this is like music.
Yeah.
You're singing to me, man. That's great.
I think that data-centric approach is really starting to just happen naturally. I think a lot of it is because there's so many different tools now. There's so many different data sets, right? Where guys are collecting information really rapidly in the field with drones, with cell phone cameras, with 360 images. So there's a lot of data coming in, and there's a lot of tools to visualize it and work with it. And so I think it's forcing us into that data-centric mind frame.
Well, one of the things that I want you to expand on just a little bit, because what I get back from a lot of people when we talk about this is that's easy to do in that situation. That's easy, in a smaller scale. If you would paint the picture a little bit about where you came from, Rogers O'Brien, what are the verticals? What are they working in? How, because you guys are massive. You're a force in the industry. I think that's important because that lends a lot of credibility to see an organization of that size understanding the advantages of making these advancements and investing in Project Atlas, investing in you coming to hackathons and things like that. So, would you address that?
Yeah. I'm, Rogers O'Brien, while well known in the industry now, several years ago, wasn't in that position. It's been a regional, player in Texas, since the late '60s, and has built incredible projects all over, the state of Texas. But when I first started at RO 10 years ago, the tallest building we'd ever built was 8 stories. And one of the first projects I got involved with was a 23-story tower. And really, due to kind of our lack of experience with that type of construction, we really relied heavily on the BIM model to help with planning. It was out of pure necessity. It was we'd never built this high before. We never built this type of product, and the BIM model gave us a chance to practice. Right, we got to see how this thing was going to go together before we went out and executed it in the field.
Excellent.
A lot of people say, that a building, cars are designed once and manufactured, millions of times, but a building is designed and then built once. We only have one shot at it, right? And BIM gives us that practice run to say, let's see what we can do. Let's see how this is going to work.
Stefan Larson's going to love to hear that because he talks about this, build it twice, build it right. I mean, that's the whole idea. We actually digitally construct it first, and that's so important. And having the tools to do that. I mean, we just in the last couple of years, we've probably kind of got to that point. Well, is there any one thing that is like a number one primary focus for you guys right now in terms of next steps? And I don't mean next year, because this is next year. I mean, we've got to start realizing that this is next year, and this is going to be ongoing. With us launching Stream, I want you guys. This is your platform too, so don't feel like you have to, give us the whole thing, but tell us what's the next biggest, what's going on.
Yeah, I would really have to say that we're gonna place a heavy focus on integration. It's something that we're really
integration of what are the pieces that you're integrating? Yeah,
I mean, I would say we've talked about the number of tools that are in the industry, and there's even a sense of kind of app fatigue out there, right? There's a new solution appearing every week, and the guys in the field that are getting used to certain workflows, that they're kind of saying, hold on a minute, I just got used to doing things this way. And so I think it's important for us to develop tools that talk to one another, that, if you want to store your data, in this cloud, server versus that one, or if you want to do your punch list, in software XYZ, that's fine. We don't want to force you into a single, platform for all of your workflows. We want you to pick the right tool for the job, but the data should all come together. It should all work in the same way.
Just for the record, I did not prompt him on any of this. He said, Steve, we want to talk about it. I said, it doesn't matter. Let's just sit down and have a discussion. So, singing a lot of the music, but I think it's apparent this is what we need to do in a lot of ways. So thanks for helping out on that.
Absolutely.
So anyway, from Dallas, Steve Holzer with BIM Object and Joe Williams with Project Atlas. Thanks.
Thanks.